Per the company's order, you're still required to make these presentations.
I don't even want to do this shit anymore. I'm fucking done with it.
Quiet! If I had it my way, you would have been long gone.
Then just fucking kick me out already. Lord knows I'd be fucking done with your bullshit meetings and all that what you have given
Shut up!
me.
Shut the fuck up right now! Presentation is done by the end of the day, where you and I are gonna have a very fun time talking to them again. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal, man. Okay. Welcome back to another set of training. If you've made it this far in the company, I'm sorry. Let's just jump right into it. There's no extra information about meltdowns or anything of the sort. Alright. O-01-04, also known as the Queen of Hatred. Now stop. I can already see all of you foaming at the mouth just to get into this thing's containment chamber. But know this. This is one bitch of an abnormality. She looks all sweet and innocent while she's in her containment chamber at full Clive-up count. But stop, alright? Just stop! 3 employees of the clerk or agent level have to die before the next Clive-off meltdown. If not, her Clive-off counter will lower, and then she gets all depressed and self-hating and whatnot. Your job, whenever you go in there, is to cheer her up, or else she goes haywire throughout the facility. She transforms into this snake thing, and whenever she does, she'll shoot a giant laser throughout the facility that will most definitely kill you if you are caught in it. There are some plus sides to this abnormality, though. When the facility reaches second trumpet, she'll breach on her own and start containing all the threats that are in the immediate area. No! What are you? Where did you come from? What are you? What are you? We are the end. F-04-42, also known as Snow White's apple. This one's simple, even by WAW standards. If it breaks out, then suppress it. Just be mindful of the vines that spawn on the floor, as they will slow you down and allow you to take damage while you're on them. Also keep in mind that even after this thing is suppressed, the vines will not go away and they will stay there for the rest of the day. So, it is recommended that you take safe travel routes whenever you're proceeding throughout the facility after suppression. T-04-50, also known as Queen Bee. When the Clive-off reaches 0, then it's going to start spreading spores throughout the department that it's stationed in. These spores will infect anyone that walks in the department, including clerks, so all of you that are watching this training right now that are clerks, sorry, you're kind of fucked. After a while, with these spores, they will turn into some sort of worker bee for the Queen. These entities are hostile and are high in numbers, so all employees that are not infected by spores at the time of this thing breaking out, suppress everything on site. T-04-53, also known as Al Ryune. Always do okay work with this thing, or it becomes a bitch and a half to suppress, because then you have to chase it around through the facility, and it's going to deal massive white damage, and oh, by the way, if your sanity is not up to snuff by this point, I would recommend getting it up there if you're going to take this thing on. If your sanity drops all the way to 0, you will actually die, rather than just panicking, so there's no way that we're able to save you. Again, don't do too good, don't do too bad, and you'll be alright. On to something that actually helps the facility. F-01-57, also known as Little Red Riding Hooded Mercenary. For an amount of energy that we produce throughout the day, we can actually hire this abnormality to go kill something. Once it does, the Clive-off will lower, but the target will be subdued. Please be aware, if F-01-57 sees F-02-58 in the hallway or hears its cry, they will immediately begin focusing each other and having a battle. The abnormality will be in an enraged state and will not subside until it is the one that kills F-02-58. So don't get in its way. F-02-58, also known as the Big and Will Be Bad Wolf. If you get a bad work result on this thing, then you get bored. Literally, you get bored. And by that cartoon-ass looking wolf on the left. You're not dead, but you're gonna have to wait for another employee to come save you from the monster's gut. If you get saved, then both of you get an ego gift. Congratulations, you get a cookie. However, if the Clyfoth counter reaches 0, this thing will break out and start teleporting across the facility, killing anything and everything in its path. And same thing as the Little Red Riding Hooded mercenary is that their fight is on site.
Miss Angela? About my department's captain.
Yes. His sanity levels are currently at an all-time low.
Yeah. Shouldn't we do something about it?
We should, shouldn't we?
I have Enkephalin ready for emergency cases like this.
That won't be necessary, Code.
But he's gone off the rails. Haven't you heard his last recording? He plans to do something that can't be taken back. I think he's going to become a danger to the facility.
You're quite right. And that's why I say we wait to see this pan out.
What? Ma'am, are you out of your mind? This could cause a mass casualty. There's no way this benefits the facility.
Do you know why, even with mistake after mistake is made on his behalf, we still have him in that position?
Why is that relevant now, of all times?
He is an experiment, a test of sorts. You see, we use the TT2 protocol to restart days, weeks, sometimes months. Every time, it's all in pursuit of a single goal.
You're saying we have the power to revert time? Then use it already!
We aren't done with the experiment yet. We have the technology to test something large.
What would be so important to allow mass homicide to be found in our facility?
Recall how Gevra was able to manifest EGO without the use of equipment before Lobotomy Corporation had been founded.
I don't like to think about that. But where are you going with this? TT2? Ego? What does that have to do with my insane team captain?
You see, he remembers. With every video that happens, his memory opens up bit by bit. And with the stress of knowing what's to come, knowing you could have prepared the employees better, feeling it's your fault for letting them fall to their deaths. That is a test of one's humanity, is it not?
O-01-64, also known as the King of Greed. Another in the magical girls category. This one kind of indirectly helps out the facility by providing Aleph level gear, rather than being an actual support system. However, when the Clyfoth counter reaches 0, this thing will breach and start roaming the hallways. Don't stand in front of it, lest you be actually eaten and killed, unlike the last abnormality. Long-range weapons are effective from behind. Shoot it, up its ass, and kill it. O-04-66, also known as the Little Prince. Whenever you work on this thing, you're going to get some spores on you. If you want to clear off the spores, work with other abnormalities. That will reduce the amount that is on you. When the Clyfoth counter reaches 0, up to 4 people with the spore effect on them are going to be drawn towards the containment unit. When a lured employee reaches the containment unit, it's going to become possessed and end up becoming a minion of the abnormality. All other lured ones that do not become possessed immediately panic before they even reach the containment unit. Remember your hygiene, by any means necessary. Next, we have F-02-70, also known as Dream of a Black Swan. This one's a little bit different and a little bit difficult to actually break out, not like you would want to, but still. Once a specific set of conditions are fulfilled, then the quote-unquote sister to all those boys in the room end up breaching somewhere through the facility. Please be warned of the charging unfolded umbrella attack while suppressing this creature. All damage done to the creature while the umbrella is unfolded is reflected back at you. Fun fact, the same thing goes for the ego weapon that is produced from this thing. Ah, fuck! Anyways, T-02-71, also known as the Dreaming Current. When the Clyfoth counter reaches 0, it'll breach and start dripping this rainbow liquid throughout the entire facility. The rainbow liquid is relatively harmless, it just slows you down and makes it harder to escape. Escape from what exactly? This monstrosity moving 200 miles per hour throughout the facility. Beware of high impact. Your body will be torn apart faster than you can say candy shop. O-04-72, also known as Burrowing Heaven. It's simple. Look at it. That goes for the manager too. While you're working on it and you're not looking at it, the thing will breach. However, it doesn't do anything while it's breached if you're still looking at it. If you remember Schadenfreude, then it's essentially the opposite of that. T-09-72, also known as Flesh Idol. The WAW tools are always going to be a little bit weird, so let's take this one slowly. If you finish work on this thing within 20 seconds or less, then you will die immediately. Same thing goes if you work on this for 90 seconds or more. The caveat is, if you work on it for longer than 90 seconds, then the Clyfoth counters will lower throughout the entire facility all the way to 0. However, if you are working on it in that sweet spot between 20 and 90 seconds, you'll either get a boost to HP or boost to HP and SP for the rest of the facility, all at the expense of your own health. Sometimes it's going to be incentivized that you be a team player for any suppression that's going down. Just be sure to get your ass out of the containment unit before you end up killing yourself, lest you make the problem worse for the rest of us. O-01-73, the Night of Despair. This is the last of the magical girls that we have at the facility. First person to do good work with it gets a gift from it, and then that person is no longer allowed to work on any form of abnormality throughout the rest of the day. All damage with the exception of Pale is halved while they have the gift, but all Pale damage received is doubled. If the employee with the gift dies, then the abnormality breaks out. Does high amounts of Pale damage, suppress it before it does it to you too. O-02-74, also known as the Naked Nest. Depending on your health and work result, this thing could infect you whenever you work with it. Once you're infected, there is no way to stop it unless the day ends and you can get medical treatment. Always make sure that your health is full before entering the containment unit of the Naked Nest, lest you become one of the creatures that it produces. O-03-88, also known as Dimensional Refraction Variant. There's good reason why there's no picture of this, and that's because you're not going to be able to see it, and the manager is going to have to tell you exactly where it is. Make sure that you follow the manager's orders exactly to the letter. Depending on the direction that this thing is going, you could run right through it and risk causing severe mental damage to yourself. It moves very slowly, so once it's breached, listen carefully and shoot carefully. I have worked on this thing before. It is quite probably the worst thing in this facility just because of how tedious it is and how punishing it can be. T-09-86, also known as Express Train to Hell. The abnormality is some sort of ticket booth with lights that can shine above the caged door. After 30 seconds, a new light will turn on and gain more benefits for the facility. If another 30 seconds passes after the fourth light, a train will run through the facility, killing any employee in its wake. Benefits for this abnormality can include healing yourself as well as healing the entire facility. If you're going to risk it, make sure that you are absolutely able to do it. Your greed and sense of time management could cost you the lives of several people in the facility. O-02-101, also known as the Firebird. If you do good or okay work with this thing, then the Clyfoth count is going to decrease, and that's actually kind of a good thing, depending on what it is. For the lower Clyfoth, this thing will deal more damage to you while you work on it. And if you end the work result with 20% or less HP, then you actually did somewhat of a bonus. The bonus being healing for about 60 seconds. Is it worth it? Not in my opinion. But hey, you do you. If the life health counter reaches 0, it will breach. While it's out, everything in the room receives red damage, so kill it before it kills all the clerks. Watch out for its blinding attack, unless you're wearing the ego gift though, as you will be blindfolded. After about around a minute and a half, the thing will go back to its containment unit willingly. If you manage to suppress the abnormality before it goes back to its containment unit, you'll get a gift. That being the weapon, actually, rather than an actual ego gift. O-05-102, also known as Yin. Suppress the creature if it breaches, and don't let it reach Yang. While it's breaching, this thing will shoot out lasers and waves that deal a fair amount of black damage. More will be explained whenever we talk about Yang next, because there is something that does happen whenever the two breach. O-07-103, also known as Yang. Yang, funnily enough, is a tool abnormality. Once Yin breaches, so will Yang, especially if it is worn by somebody. When you are wearing the abnormality, it provides you mental resistance. However, that's not the big part of what we need to cover with these two. When these two breach, they're going to attempt to meet each other. When they do, they're going to form the Chinese Taoism symbol, and a giant dragon is going to form somewhere through the facility and run through it just like Express Train to Hell. Suppress both before they meet. That is all. D-09-104, also known as Backwards Clock. Only level 5 or higher employees have access to this. Consider yourselves lucky that you're even getting to know about it. Level 5 employees can turn the clock at least 4 times. Each time they do, a number lights up on the light bulbs in it. Whenever the device is wound up a 5th time, the employee will sacrifice themselves and return the facility to a state in where it was safe. Any employee under level 5 that works with it will be unable to do anything with it. This is very powerful and a very privileged position to be in, from what management says. I've actually had to wind up the abnormality myself a couple of times, and it is stressful being known as the guy that has to wind that thing up, because then that means that you're on the chopping block for dying. D-01-105, also known as Il Viento de la Luna. Using its special work, you can choose to play the piano. If you do, the temperance and justice of all employees in the facility will increase by 10. However, once you are finished with the performance, your HP will be cut in half. Once the glyphosate counter reaches 0, this thing will escape, and piano music will be heard throughout the entire facility. Stay out of the abnormality's way until the piano music is finished, and it will go back to its containment unit willingly. It does do high amounts of black damage, so just be wary of that. D-04-108, also known as Parasite Tree. When you complete any sort of work on it, then Parasite Tree will end up blessing you. Upon having 5 blessings giving out, 5 bulbs will also pop out of the tree. After 5 bulbs pop out, all the employees with blessings are going to go out of control. Wait a little bit, and suddenly they become minions, just like Queen Bee. Suppress all minions that you find. Second verse, same as the first. Finally, we have D-01-110, also known as the Clouded Monk. Performing insight work, the abnormality apparently heals your insight a little bit. That's nice. However, whenever the glyphosate counter is depleted, it's going to change forms and start crawling around the facility like a little gremlin. He heals himself when he attacks, so just be careful about that. With that, revobs are done.
Now, there's only one more to go. You've seen it in the videos yourself. I'm the one that always has to test out everything. I am the one that knows all of them for a reason. That reason is that I have to get into these containment units and just and then nothing happens. It was all fine. It never even I never asked for this. You wouldn't know how much I have on my shoulders. And then do what? Just go ahead and sink to the bottom of the facility? With all this crushing pressure all over me. I can't take it anymore. No God. Fuck Atlas. I can't carry on like this. I'm just a man. I'm not a god. Can I be expected to carry the weight of hundreds of lives every day? You're right. What choice does he have? What choice do I? But to just go ahead and sink. Choice I have. It's the only one I could make at this point. They're gonna learn. They're going to learn.
I am nothing but the workhorse for a farmer tending their field. No, not even a horse. I'm a dog, corralling the herd of real animals kept within the doors of this broken barn. A dime a dozen mutt meant to tell the farmer when his prized livestock fall out of line. When a horse breaks a leg, the horse gets put down. But man's best friend gets no reprieve on this farm. Man's best friend is also meant to defend the herd from foxes, coyotes, and more predators on a daily basis. He'll get wounded, scraped, scratched, bitten, or mauled. But eventually, that dog has to get right back up to do their job. Why am I a dog? Why make me, out of all the employees in this forsaken fucking place, the one who knows more than anyone? Well, I don't care about that right now. I won't be anyone's sheep herder. I'm going to tear this facility apart, floor by floor, so that these lambs don't have to wait to be offered up to slaughter. And then, dear manager, I'm coming for you.